Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shino. I'm your gaming and anime ninja, and welcome to episode 5 of Ask Shino. Happy to have you guys here today. I don't want to waste any time. We have 3 questions today that we're going to get into, maybe 4, but we'll see about that. For now, I'm going to answer those 3 questions, so let's just jump right into it. First up, Minnie asks, why do you stream so late at night? I know you live in Vegas, but it seems that even among other Vegas streamers, that your stream is extremely late. I would want to watch you more, but I generally can't catch you unless I don't have to work the next day, or I can only catch you when I can't sleep at night. I appreciate you for that, by the way. Um, the reason why I stream so late is just kind of a natural evolution of what happened in my stream. Um, what ended up happening was when I first started streaming, I was working a 9 to 5 job. I was working retail, so my schedule was legitimately all over the place. Like, there'd be days where I opened and I'd be able to stream as early as 7. There was days where I closed where I wouldn't be able to stream till like 11. So because of that, I never had a set start time. However, I did notice that people more regularly came to my stream the later my stream went. Like when I started my stream at 7, it would be okay, but it wouldn't really pick up till like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And so a lot of times that if I was opening the next day, I'd have to, end at like, no later than midnight or 1, 2 o'clock in the morning because I had to be at my store at 7 o'clock in the morning to open again. So that being said, I just noticed that the longer my stream went on, the better my stream did. And so when I eventually what ended up happening is I just stopped starting my stream at 7 and just always started my stream at 9, so there was some consistency. And my stream would just generally, like I said, it would do better at 9 o'clock than it would if I started at 7 o'clock. My overall average viewership, and this a big part of this plays back to me pushing really hard for partner, and I was focusing a lot on what my average viewership was so that I could get the partner. That being said, as time went on and as time went on, I kept noticing that more and more, like the later my stream went, or the later my stream went, the better my stream did. When I start at 9, I'd want to end at like, say, 2 or 3 o'clock, but I noticed around 3 o'clock, my stream would just be taking off and hitting a new tier of awesomeness or a new tier of viewership. We'd be at like, 9 o'clock would be at 10 viewers, 10 o'clock would be at 15 viewers, 12, 11 o'clock would be at 20 viewers, midnight we'd be at 30 viewers, and then by 3 o'clock we'd be at like 40, 50, 50 viewers. And then, sometimes at 3 o'clock, we wouldn't be at 40 viewers. We'd be as high as like, 60, 70, 80, even 100 viewers sometimes. So I wouldn't want to end at 3 o'clock when I'm at like my highest viewership. That's, when I'm not only broadcasting to the largest audience, but it's also when I'm the highest in the directory. So I have the highest chance of being discovered by new people to discover my audience. So at the time, at least, I just decided that I wanted to keep streaming at this time slot because I wanted to have the best chance to bring in new people, to have the most discoverability, and to be able to grow my stream. So eventually, just slowly but surely, I started starting at 9, then I started starting at 10, and then it got to the point where it got so bad where I just started starting at 11 just because I would go from 11, at night. And I think what really happened, a part of it too, is I would start at, say 9, but I would go until like 9 the next day. So when I'd go to sleep, I'd sleep for 8 hours, wake up, shower, and eat. And it's like sometimes if I'd sleep for 9 or 10 hours, or if I had anything else to do before stream, it would be like I'd sleep for 8 hours. All right, it's I got off at 9, went to sleep at 10, sleep for 8 hours. I wake up at 6. I spend an hour waking up, checking up on Twitter and things like that. Spend an hour or two getting ready, But like if I spent an hour in getting ready, or 2 hours getting ready after doing an hour waking up, it's already 9 o'clock. I'm already supposed to be live, and I haven't done anything. I haven't done my laundry, haven't really made food, haven't really, contacted family, handled any business emails. So it just became easier for me to start later, and then start later. It became easier for me to start later and take care of the things I need to do, then go live, than trying to rush and get everything done and being stressed and going live at 9 and falling behind on things and etc. etc. And just getting time, like I need to breathe right there, just getting time away from the stream. Like as much as I love streaming 12 hours a day was cool, I still needed to give myself time away from the stream so I didn't like break down. That was a big part of that was also my back issue and so on and so forth. But the long story short is my streams were later because my streams did better being later back then. Um, a lot's changed about my stream and about my community since then. I've actually put up a poll this weekend asking what people preferred. So actually, this next month we are going to try some new stream times, so it might be a little bit better for you, Minnie, and anybody else looking into it. The vote was pretty close on Twitter. I asked on Twitter, we're gonna pull the stream itself for the next week just to see before we go into April. But I asked on Twitter to get like everyone's opinion on it, and it seemed very like almost, I think it was like split like 44%, 41%. 44% wanted me to start at 6 p.m. and 41% wanted me to start at 8 p.m. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick one of those stream times for just the month of April and see how it does. We're still going to keep the 4-day schedule, we'll still keep the other stuff that we're doing, but we're going to stream from, whatever one of those times. We're going to pull the stream to get a accurate input from the stream as well. Mind you, not just going off what the stream says. So obviously, the people who are here at 10 are going to want me to start at 10 and so on and so forth. But I want to make sure that the people who have been showing up late at night still have a voice. And, maybe there might be a time that's better for them as well. So, yeah, that's essentially why I've always streamed super late at night. It's been when my stream has done its best. And I was trying to push for partner, and it just kind of became a habit. But we don't want to let it become a bad habit. So we're going to be trying out some new things and see how it goes. And then if the stream's doing really well, if we start at 6 and the stream's doing really well, we'll just keep going. I will make sure that even if the stream's going amazingly well, we will not go longer than 12 hours if I'm scheduled to do another stream at 6, so that I can at least get 6 hours of sleep or 8 hours of sleep before the next stream and stretch and do other things as well. But yeah, that's the answer to that. Thank you for asking, Minnie. I was Minnie from Instagram, by the way. Next, we have Minx from Instagram as well, who asked, how do you decide what games to stream and when? I've noticed a lot of streamers generally tend to either have a main game, while other streamers play kind of like a crazy variety. How do you pick what games you're playing and when you decide to play them? For me personally, I've been what I would say what you would call one of those main game streamers. I had a game, Dead by Daylight. That was a game that I blew up for. That's the game that my community knows for, and that's the game that a majority of my audience likes or enjoys watching me play. So it's a game that I generally stick to in order to keep my audience size around the same and try to keep my audience size growing. Unless there's something in that vein or something that I really think will take off that I'm really passionate about, I kind of stick around my main game just so I can maintain the level of success that I have and make plans or other plans around it to grow from there. That being said, for me personally, these days I kind of just pick games that I want to play. So like, my main game would be Dead by Daylight, but a lot of times you guys will see me once in a blue moon, I'll hop on League of Legends. Every once in a while, like recently this last month, I've played Devil May Cry. And then anyone who's been around towards the tail end of my streams also knows that I've done a lot of brand deals trying out new games. I think we've done like the Grand Tour, Don't Starve, so many different games. I have Sekiro planned this week, which I was planning on playing anyway. So I've been enjoying doing a lot of those brand deals, just because one, it helps fund the stream, but two, also it allows me to try new games to get a feel for things that I haven't played before that I really wanted to like expand my horizons as a gamer. All the time I've spent on Dead by Daylight, I feel like as much as I've enjoyed the game, I've kind of laxed on my overall understanding of like the whole gaming industry and what's going on. So I wanted to, that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed that. But for reals, what I would say personally, Ninja even put a tweet about this recently about like a great way to pick what game to play. I think picking a game in one of the top 20 games on Twitch is probably like the best idea if you're new and starting out. But as for me, like I said, I would say the most important thing is I think your average stream should be 4 hours. I think if you're trying to do a stream, it should be like a part-time job. If you're trying to do a stream and grow, it should be somewhat like a part-time job unless it's a special event. And you should shoot for your stream to be around 4 hours. So I would pick a game that you can play for at least 4 hours straight. And then, if you want to switch after that or so on and so forth, that's fine. That's usually what I do is like I'll do just chatting for an hour and just talk to my community. I'll play Dead by Daylight for 4 to 5 hours, and then I'll swap and do my brand deal game if I have a brand deal. Or, I'll just keep playing Dead by Daylight or whatever, from there. However, I would also change games if you need to keep your sanity. Big thing people hear, you hear people have different versions of the 80-20 rule. I think just applying that to your stream would be well. 80% of your game, 80% of your stream should be a game that you like enjoy, but know that you can like that people know you for, or that people can gravitate to, and you can change this from month to month. But 80% of your stream should be somewhat consistent content, so when people come to your stream, they know what to expect. And then 20% should be you trying out new things, whether that be IRL, podcast, just chatting, new games, spooky game night, whatever. If you do 5 streams a week, 1 stream you should be willing to go out and experiment new things. 1, both for your sanity, and 2, just for to diversify and grow. So I say, in my opinion, I pick games just based on what I want to play, but I still keep that 80-20 rule in mind. Like I know people come to me for a reason, and I'm trying to work on what that reason is and trying to, like, again, diversify and build a group around different reasons, but I acknowledge that that's still a thing and work around that. So I would say play what you want to play, but just keep it in mind that it should be something you're down to play for like 4 hours, so that there's some consistency with your stream. And also, don't be afraid to experiment with things you like. Like, I felt really bad that I missed so many games in the past 2 years while getting partnering, and I'm catching up on all those things now. But like, I wasn't gonna miss Devil May Cry 5. I'm a little iffy on missing Kingdom Hearts, but I did miss God of War last year. I'm not planning on missing Sekiro. Not planning on missing a couple other games like Last of Us 2 that are coming out soon. So I highly recommend find the games that you really want to play and make time to play those too. Just keep the 80-20. Don't just always be hopping to the next big thing or the next thing that everyone cares about. Figure out what you like, what you can consistently play, and then spend 20% of your time trying to branch out to other games, finding things you like, and just keeping yourself sane. And yeah, there we go. Next, I have question 3 comes from Caitlin on Facebook. And Caitlin asks, as a small content creator or a streamer, how did you decide I think what she meant is when you're smaller, but anyway, as a small content creator or streamer, how did you decide what conventions you went to and why? And if you're not necessarily known yet, what should you focus on doing while at these smaller conventions? Personally, when I was a small content creator, I went to a lot of conventions. I was very focused on learning my craft, and also I understand very much the principle of the inner circle is very important. Your 5 closest friends is your average you. So I spent as much time as I can, or as many opportunities as I could, trying to get close to people that were in the position that I wanted to be or doing something similar to what I wanted to do. So if there was ever an event or a venue where there were going to be large YouTubers or anything like that there, or large content creators there, I always made sure I made a point of going to those events, and I made sure of going to or being a part of whatever panels they were a part of. So like, when I'm in Vegas, I went to HoneyCon, I went to Las Vegas Comic Con, I went to Wizard World, I went to Level Up Expo, in LA, I went to Summoners Con, I've been to Anime Expo, and like all sorts of panels, but a lot of those big events, because they brought together like a lot of big content creators, I always made a point of trying to get to those when I could, because they bring a lot of big content creators out, and I always made a point of like their panels or the panels that I went to. Obviously still try to enjoy your time at the convention, but I feel like as a small content creator, another big thing I've always been a part of is like, we are your friends. I try not to fanboy whenever I'm meeting a content creator I enjoy or I look up to. And I always focus on like trying to be friendly, not so much to befriend them, but to like essentially learn how to carry myself similar to what I do. Like learn as much as I could from them as quickly as I could, so that I could adapt that to my own work as I was growing as a YouTuber and now as a streamer. So I would recommend personally. I have a very special situation because I lived in Vegas, so I am a 1-hour flight to California to LA. I'm a 4-hour drive to LA, and so many conventions bring their stuff to Vegas at some point in time, because Vegas is just such a like tourist attraction, and we're so well set up to handle conventions for both young and older audiences. That I'm kind of blessed in that perspective. But I would recommend personally, if you're a smaller content creator, you should go to any of your local conventions, and I would consider any convention that you can get to in under 2 hours a local event. honestly, I would say any convention you can get to in under 4 hours is a local event, personally. You can ask my friend Abe and Hero. We've done multiple day trips where we're driving out for 4 hours just for an event and then driven back after the event. It's like an 8 hour day, but I mean, we drive there for 4 hours, spend 8 hours at the event, and drive back for 4 hours. So it's a full day and you're exhausted. Highly recommend taking the day off work afterwards if you can. But like, even though sometimes we've dropped each other off at work. But I think anything under minimum, anything that's within 2 hours of you is a local event, and you at the very least should be at any of your local events. You should see if there's any big content creators going to your local events. You should be at their panels, see if you can like meet and greet with them, see if they're they're doing anything afterwards, if they're doing like a dinner or something, if you can be a part of, see about being a part of that. And then if they're not going to be, like, say there are no content creators, like a lot of smaller conventions have in Vegas for a long time had no big gaming content creators there. And so I was like, well, if there's no big gaming content creator there, then I guess I'll be the gaming content creator there. And so I started doing panels for these events and things like that and build up my presence in my own community. But I always feel like, in my opinion, anything that's local, you should be going to. If you're a Twitch streamer, I highly recommend you go to TwitchCon, or TwitchCon or PAX. Not, you don't have to go to all of them, but pick one of those to go, like one major event to go to a year. And then if you're a YouTuber, I highly recommend like VidCon or VidCon. I think it's like VidCon Canada or whatever. They have like a Canadian version of VidCon that's held more up north. But I highly recommend going to like VidCon or something like that, or E3. Pick one major event and try to get there and try to find. Honestly, I'd say just find where your favorite creator's going, and if they're going to an event, try to also go to that event, even if you don't get to spend a lot of time with them, just to get a better understanding of what is going to be expected of them at events. So when you get there, what's expected of you at events, and just so you have an opportunity to, like I said, learn from them, speak to them, and don't be, if you're spending all of this time and money going to the event, don't be afraid to reach out to talk to them. Like, that's what you're there for. You can't spend $1,000 to go to like BlizzCon and be too scared to talk to your favorite cosplayer, your favorite content creator. Like, don't be weird or don't be creepy or too forward about it. But just like, hey, I really love your stuff. Honestly, or like the reason I came here, you have a minute to like talk, and if you want to talk to someone more, you can have a minute you can talk, or you can just say, hey, thank you for your work, and if you have any advice for a newer creator, maybe there's a particular project you're working on and you want to ask their advice for it. Can I bug you for 2 seconds about something like that I'm working on? Like, you spent the money to go there to see them, spend the effort to actually talk to them after spending that money. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about it, me personally. But those are the events. That's how I picked events. Anywhere that was within 4 hours, I went to. And I picked the events, not just randomly anywhere, but anything between 4 hours, because you can't go to everything. Mind you, I was like, if I went to everything, I'd be at an event every month if I went to everything that was in 4 hours of me. But then I would say, if you're curating, either pick events that you feel like you could provide value to, or pick events that your favorite content creator is going to. I know, for example, I wasn't going to go, I think it was like LA Cosplay Con. I was like going to completely blow off the event. I wasn't curious about it at all. There was a cosplay contest. My buddy Hero was going. And at the last minute, they announced that Suzy was going to the event. Maybe like a week or two before the event, Suzy was going to be there at the event. Suzy was a content creator in my early vlogging days that I was very much trying to emulate. And so, like, when I heard he was going, it was pretty much just on the day of. Like, my buddy sent me the Instagram post, like, hey, Suzy's going to be at Cosplay Con, and he's doing a YouTube panel with Andre, like, Black Nerd Rants, and a couple other guys. You down? And I said, screw it. I called out of work. We got a rental car. The 5 of us, which was we should have got a bigger car. But the 5 of us packed in a rental car. We drove down there. We got a hotel. We didn't even have to stay in the night, but we got a hotel just in case to hold our stuff. And then we went to the event. We hung out at the convention. I actually got to have one-on-one time and actually sit and talk with Suzy, which was like, the conversation I had with him at that event was very impactful and was like super important for me in my career. As well as I got to talk to Andre, Black Nerd Rants, if you don't know who that is, great guy as well. But like, I would argue, even say like the time I spent at that event probably changed my YouTube career and personally, and a lot of things I did in YouTube, as well as like my like professional career. Like, I won't say that I wouldn't be where I am without that conversation, but when I was going through a really rough time, that conversation really helped me refocus and realign what I was doing and how I was handling the things that I was handling. So I do think that that conversation was really important to me. And I'm not sure, I would probably still be streaming, but I don't know that I would be exactly here where I am now had I not had that conversation then. So like I said, I recommend finding your favorite content creators, seeing out where they're going, and that's who you should pick where you're gonna go to. All right. That's like 20 minutes. We could do one more, but I'll save it for next week because I don't want to keep this too long. But I do want to thank you guys for watching. That's pretty much all I have today for Ask Shino. Again, if you have any questions or have anything you want answered on the show, all you have to do is leave them in the comments below. Tweet them at me with the hashtag AskShino, drop them in the Discord, or drop them to me on Instagram or Facebook. I'm pretty much everywhere. Wherever you want to send it, just make sure you let me know, hey, here's a question for the show if you have time, and I'll be sure to do my best to pick it up. Either way, I want to thank you guys for watching. Until next time, my name is Shinobazu, your gaming and anime ninja. I'll see you guys later, alright? Deuces.